Hey Shack Pack, I've been playing Clash Royale since launch, but I recently took a break from the game because it was getting too repetitive and too frustrating. Even though I had most of the cards at the top, I did not have the gold that was required to upgrade their levels. So, I was often fighting people that overpowered me, and I just could not catch a break. But this year, we fast forward to 2023, and I started a brand new account, and that's when it hit me. That's when it hit me, guys. What if I told you that losing in Royale would be your choice? What if I told you that winning in Royale would be your choice? Today, we're going to explore a brand new strategy that dawned on me while I was playing Clash Royale. So, like I said, we started a brand new account. This happened in the early arenas when I figured this out. Okay, I think we're good now. So this strategy can be applied to any arena level though. If you are a higher arena level, be prepared to do some extra catch-up work to get in line with the strategy we're going to show you here today. Essentially, you are playing with a rush deck at the higher levels, and if you don't believe that, just listen up. Just give me a little bit of your time, and I'm about to teach you how to become a winner here in Clash Royale. Yes, I understand, I said winner at the exact same moment that we are losing this match. But remember guys, we are intentionally losing this match. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You think it's too good to be true? Stick around and find out for yourself. Let's go. This strategy is what I like to call Clash Madness. This strategy is maddening! Maddening! I'm telling you guys, you are not prepared for an attack strategy similar to this. So what we're going to be talking about here today is a different approach to the game. So let's rub a little bit more I didn't mean literally. A little more salt in those wounds and show you how to play the game against the game mechanics. So, what I'm about to teach you, it may feel wrong, it may feel absurd, but stick with me guys. If you are in clan wars, constantly getting destroyed by opponents 2 levels or higher than you, you need to pay attention, because this is going to teach you a strategy to even out the odds and even get those levels in your favor. So, yes, there will be times we will encourage you to intentionally lose. Wait a minute, Stinkpot. Are we really teaching a winning strategy through losing? Yeah, well, we'll get into more of that in just a few minutes, but just take a deep breath, prepare for the madness! Alright guys, let's get into this. Today we're talking about Arena 4. Keep in mind, this madness strategy will work for any arena, but we're just focused on Arena 4 for this video. So you must understand the trophy range for the arena you are currently in. If you don't know where to find the trophy range, look on this screen right here, and above this battle button will be an image of the current arena you are in. Tap that and you will see where you are currently in the trophy range. I'm at 1141 currently, but if you scroll down, you'll see Spell Valley Arena 4. And we entered Arena 4 at trophy level 1000. Consequently, you can scroll up and see what the trophy requirement is for Arena 5 for Builder's Workshop. It's 1300. So we know right now that we have to stay in this range, 1000 to 1300. This is our first madness strategy, guys. First madness strategy, stay in the same arena. Stay in the same arena. Stay in the same arena. Trust me on this, guys. The game is going to encourage you to not stay in the same arena. If you go to the left, you can see your deck. You go down below that, you can see the other cards in your deck. And below that, that's where the game starts to go, oh, look! If you only will go to Arena 5, you can get all these shiny new cards. And it's gonna be awesome. You won't regret it. If you're having trouble in your current arena, just go up and get more cards, better cards. And that's how you win in Clash Royale. Wrong! That's how you lose in Clash Royale. Do not feed into this greedy frenzy. If you keep going higher and higher, this is what I talked about earlier with getting to a rushed deck. We do not want that. We do not want that. Look up. We want to stay in the same arena. Remember that mental note I asked you to keep for your current arena trophy level? Well, we know for Arena 4, our trophy range is 1,000 to 1,300. So this is why we must intentionally lose at times, because if you get too high, you're gonna bump up into the next arena, guys. The only reason we lose is to intentionally stay in the same arena by intentionally losing. I never told you that we would always win in this game, but what I did tell you was this strategy is going to allow you to take control of your life in Clash Royale. You decide when you win. You decide when you lose. Remember, guys, are you still with me out there? So, don't forget, strategy number 1, stay in the same arena. Alright guys, before we get into strategy number 2, we have to have a little math lesson in what I call Math Royale. Today's first lesson just has you remember one thing, the magic number 30. Remember earlier when I told you, you get to decide if you win or lose in Clash Royale? That's right. Time's up. It's time to make our first decision regarding our trophy range. Also, earlier, Madness Strategy number 1 said, hey, what is your trophy range? We know from Arena 4, it was 1,000 to 1,300. That is our trophy range. So apply the magic number 30 to it. If we win, we can look at our current trophy count and know it's going to go from 1141 to 1171. If we lose, we know it's going to drop from 1141 down to 1111. Simple math, 30. Now, these numbers that I just put on the screen are my numbers. They're not Supercell's magic algorithmic numbers that actually determine the actual trophy count you win or lose in a match of Clash Royale. That's not what I'm saying here. These are the numbers that I've experienced at Arena 4, and they're also from a min-max perspective, meaning when you win at Arena 4, you're going to gain at least 30 trophies, and when you lose, you're going to lose at least 27. That's just my experience. Your numbers may be slightly different, and this also is for tripling. So if you get 3 crown towers destroyed, it's going to be at least 30. If you lose and you lose 3 crown towers, that's going to be at least 27. So again, those numbers are mine. They're not Supercell's. It's my experience at Arena 40. That's how I came up with that. So if the range is 30 to 33 on wins and 27 to 33 on losses, we just average it to be magic number 30. So if you decide to win, will that put you above your trophy range? If it does, that answers your question if you need to win or lose your next match. So by using Math Royale, lesson number 1, remember the 30, guys. You must decide this before you hit the battle button. Actually, you don't. If you hit the battle button, it'll still tell you your trophy number before you get into the match. So if I hit battle, it'll It'll show my picture up, says here's Stinkpot's fighting whoever, and it'll show my trophy number. So that is your last chance to know if you need to win or lose. Now let's get back to some earlier discussion where we said, why would anyone want to buy all these shiny new cards, right? Look at that. Why would you want to do it? So we can actually answer that with Clash Royale now. The simple answer is you don't need to. Save that hard-earned cash or allowance if you're a kid, and maybe buy Clash Royale. That's probably the highest value item you can buy in the game. Anything you purchase beyond that is just purely for cosmetic reasons, or you're starting to crack. Don't crack, guys. Don't do it. Don't go to the next arena. I promise you. Remember Madness strategy number 1. What was it? You guys forget already? Stay at the same arena. Use the math lesson I just taught you. And, you know, if you can stick with me just a little bit longer, we're going to teach you not only will you stay at a certain level, but you're also going to start gaining gems. You're going to start gaining gold. And we'll get into that discussion in just a little bit. All right, now that we got a little Clash Royale out of the way, it's time for Madness strategy number 2. And what we're going to be calling this one is do more with less, ladies and gentlemen. Do more with less. That's it. It's all you got to do. In Arena 4, look at all the different number cards I have, right? We have 26 different cards. You can see in the top left there. 26 different cards that I can unlock from Arena 1 through Arena 4. So no matter what I do, as long as I stay in Arena 4, Madness strategy number 1, I will always have 26 cards. Why? Why must we do this, Stinkpot? Why? Because we want to do more with less. Strategy number 2. Let's continue. During the intro of today's video, I mentioned that if you're trying to use this Madness strategy effectively at the higher arenas, you might have a little catch-up time because you're probably already being overpowered at those higher levels, and that's what I call a rush deck. You're constantly getting barraged by people that have card levels 1, 2, 3 levels higher than you. But if you stay in the same arena, whatever arena that is, and use the cards at your disposal, you probably are going to have a better chance of catching up. So in Arena 4, we have 26 cards. Now, let's go to a higher arena real quick, okay? I'll go to my highest arena. All right? And here, we're going to see that we probably have over 50 cards. Oh, in this case, we have over 100 cards in our deck, guys. Over 100 cards in our deck. This is what I call a rush deck. Look at these card levels. My highest card levels are level 13, but most of them are the same or lower card levels that our Arena 4 had. What arena am I in this? Wow. I'm all the way up at Arena 16, trying to use some of the same card levels that I'm using at Arena 4. It's a rush deck because I fell into the trap when Clash Royale launched and I got greedy. I'm like, oh, if I have this going to this next arena, I'll get these cards. It can be more powerful. But yes, you technically are getting more powerful cards, but you're getting them at a lower level. And that's how you start to get into the rush deck category. So don't do it, guys. Don't do it. So let's go back to our lower arena and get comfortable with the lower arena, right? Let's get comfortable with it. Do more with less. So I don't care how many you decide you want to upgrade at a certain time, but it definitely is easier to focus on 26 cards versus over 100 cards. And as for me specifically, I'm only focused on these 8 right here. It will pay off quickly. I'll do more with less. Or in other words, I will upgrade these 8 faster with less time. So keep that in mind as well. Let's take a look at our 26 again. And this account is not very old. In 3 weeks, I have some cards already at level 11. And all my cards are at a minimum of level 9. These cards down here I've barely touched. You can see a lot of them are ready for upgrades. I haven't touched them, and they really only hurt me right now in Clan Wars. But right after this video, I'm probably going to upgrade all of these so I can be more competitive in Clan Wars. Because in Clan Wars, I'm still getting destroyed because you have to have more than one deck. So at Arena 4, I'm going to be able to have 3 decks. So I need to get 3 sets of decks on par with these 8 here. So eventually I'm going to focus on taking my 8 that I'm currently focused on and start focusing on all 26, because all 26 at minimum level 9 is going to put me in a better situation. So but if you look at these 8 right here, look at the top right, it shows that I'm in Crown Tower level 8. So when I'm in battle, my main tower is going to be level 8. Most opponents in Arena 4 are going to have Crown Tower levels at 6 or 7. So without even throwing a card out on the battlefield, you're already in a better spot defensively because your Crown Tower has more hit points and it's going to do more damage to the approaching troops. Rarely you'll come across Crown level 5s, Crown level 8s, but what you won't see is this madness strategy that we're learning here today. So if you stick to this plan, soon we'll get our Crown Tower from 8 to 10, and all our cards will be probably level 11 as far as these 8 are concerned. Level 8 cards with a level 10 Crown Tower going against Crown Towers 5 through 8. We're already seeing how this is going to pay off, guys. So you're going to be fighting easier Crown Towers, and the defending Crown Towers you have are going to do more damage to the opponents. Do you see the difference, guys? Do more with less. Alright guys, are you hanging in there? I hope so, because what I'm really trying to teach you is how to enjoy Clash Royale again. Okay, so let's get into our final madness strategy and what I like to call max your deck. Okay, so earlier we talked about how I'm just focused on these 8, right? Well, when I say max your deck, I am talking about all 26. And when I talk about all 26 maxed, current max is what? Level 14. Now, I'm not going to get all crazy and say you have to go to level 14, but I want you, through this process, to find out what your magic number is. What is your goal? Do you want to just max all yours at level 9 and go up to the next arena and find out what happens? You can do that. But me, I want to be as powerful as possible before I go to the next arena. So I'm going to do my best to get them all to level 14, because again, this goes back to the Math Royale. If I only have 26 cards and I want to do more with less, it's going to take me less time to get 26 cards to max 14. But maybe I'll go down this route and it'll just take longer than I anticipated. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't have to go to 14 right now. But that's going to be a decision for another day. So also keep in mind, guys, you do not have to use these exact 8 cards I have here. I want you guys to go through this experience with me, and I want you to pick your own assortment of cards to use, because any of these 26 are going to be viable solutions as long as you're following the strategy and the levels are appropriate. So I'm going to show you that there's 3 decks I have in mind that I like to use, okay? And some of these cards I'm going to use today, they're going to be level 1s, they're going to be level 2s, but they're still going to work because of that Crown Tower level 8 advantage we're going to have, okay? So this strategy is almost always going to guarantee that you will have the better cards, but sometimes maybe not. This week in Clan Wars, it's a little bit different over there in Clan Wars. So I was going up against Crown Tower 10s, and guess what? I still beat them. I had a fireball and I power cycled that over and over until their tower went down, and my card levels were just high enough to defend them. So the strategy will even allow you to beat people overpowered than you. It just takes a little bit of practice. So let's get into this. We're gonna show 3 different battles here today, and let's get into this first one. This is my main attack deck that I use. Currently, this is the only deck that I've upgraded, and because of what I just talked about with Clan Wars, after I make this video, I'm probably gonna go down to these 26 and get them up to at least all my cards up to level 6. But I can tell you one thing. See how much gold I have at the top? I have 75,000 gold, and that number has been growing when I've been using this strategy. We're gonna get into how you can grow gems and gold in the next section, but for now, let's focus on the final madness strategy, number 3, max your deck. So these are the best cards at the highest levels that I have right now. Minimum level 9, max level 11, okay? So let's go ahead and get into our first battle, and then we'll talk about 2 more other types of decks that I like to use. This is what I like to call my main attack deck. So here we go. $11.41 versus $11.28. I already know I'm going to win because that's a Crown Tower 7. Guys, since I've started using this attack strategy, as of right now, I have not lost a battle that I intended on winning. We talked about earlier how we intentionally lose, but on a match that I don't intentionally lose and I want to win, I have not lost a battle to this date. You can see I left that left side totally exposed because I know by looking at their card levels, they're not going to be able to get many hits on my Crown Tower. So we be patient and we destroy them. You see, that's a match. He's got a level 9 Baby Dragon versus my level 9 Val, but I'm still destroying their tower versus them destroying mine. Musketeer is going to be no match for this Baby Dragon. I'm going to punch it out. P.E.K.K.A, I got a P.E.K.K.A 2, and it's 2 levels higher. You're done. You're done. So let's save a fireball. Let's see where it's going to need to go. Let's put it right there, and that tower is going to be destroyed right here. 1 fell swoop. 1 tower gone, 2 to go. Now I'm just going conservative right now. Once we get down to the minute mark, you're gonna see them try to do something, but they won't be able to. They've already had their chance. They've already wasted their opportunity to win this match, and they're soon realizing it's just not possible. We're getting close to the increased elixir time, and they're already losing. Let's throw my level 11s in. That might do it right there. Let's do a little fist bump. That is game, set, match. We didn't even get to the 1 minute mark. We destroyed them very swiftly. That is my best deck that I currently have. And there you go. All right, so that was our main attack deck, okay? Now the next deck we're gonna talk about is what I like to call a cycle deck. Okay, so look at this deck here. You can see in the bottom left, it has 3.6 elixir, okay? That's how fast you're gonna be able to throw cards out. You have to wait until you get 3.6 elixir on average before I can use a card. So if we go to our cycle deck, look at the big difference there. It's a fast, lightning fast 1.9 cycle. So I only have to wait for 2 elixir versus waiting for 4 elixir to use a card on average. So that's twice as fast. And look at these levels. I only have 1 card at level 11, 1 card at level 9. The rest are 1s and 5s and 6s. They're still going to win. They're still going to win. Here we go. This is what I call a cycle deck. Because you're cycling through the cards as fast as possible. So even if you get a Valk on all these goblins, you're still gonna have enough elixir where you can cycle fast enough to defend. That's why we call it a cycle deck. But on this deck, you're gonna go more conservative. You want to react to what they're doing. You will have the cards to react to what they're doing, and that's what we're doing. Bring out our level 11 to do the cleanup, and here comes a P.E.K.K.A. Let's stop him as well. And look, guys, we only have 2 cards that are level 9 and 11. The rest are under leveled for this guy, and we're still getting more damage off their tower than they're getting off us. Let's put a little Electro Spirit level 1, and boom! He will contain it long enough for the Crown Tower to pick up the damage, because our Crown Tower is 1 level higher, so we are defending better than they are. So look, he's already, I don't know what he's thinking right now, but we have definitely done more damage to our tower, to their tower, than they've done to ours. So I kind of keep my level 11 archer in my back pocket for when I really need, when they try to do a good push like this, and I need to take stuff out. Everything else I'm throwing out is just a distraction to allow my archers to get in there and destroy them. It's just a distraction. I can cycle faster than them. And look at that, still taking out their towers. So the cycle deck being underleveled, it may or may not get all 3 crown towers, but what it won't get is a defeat. So let's keep cycling. Once we get to the minute mark, you're really gonna see me cycle. It'll be non-stop. I will be just barraging cards out there just to see what they can do. All right, we're getting ready to go into that mode now. I'm gonna put a wall breaker on the left. And we're going to start, oh, nope, we're switching strategy. We're going to put our good stuff on the left, our weak stuff on the right. Here we go. And let's distract. Now we're really cycling now, getting our archers in line, getting everybody in line to get destroyed. Look at that, just barraging. So we'll stay on the left here. Let's just continue on the left. Keep cycling. Now we have 4 level 11 archers out there, guys. 2 are about to get destroyed, but we still got 2. Still cycling over and over. Just putting the screws on them. Slowly taking their tower down. We will overpower them. We will overtake them. And that's how the cycle deck works, guys. It just inundates them. It paralyzes them. It doesn't allow them to regain control. Let's try to get that right tower. We're not going to get 3 towers, but can we get 2 towers? Let's find out right now. Get the archers on it. Just level 11 archers. Bam! Got the job done right there. That is your cycle deck. Alright, so there's one more deck I want to show you, and that's what I'm going to call a defensive deck. What if you use your cards and make a pure defensive deck where you're not even worried about attacking, you're just worried about defending? So that's what this deck is here. And with a defensive deck at Arena 4, we really only rely on 2 cards for offense, and that's cycling our fireball and cycling our arrows. Everything else you see there are building defenses. They're there to aid in the defense of those crown towers. So here we go. Let's get into it. Final attack here. And this time, I'm going to purely react to them. So with our attack deck, we went hard on the offense. With our cycle deck, we went mildly on the offense. But with the defensive deck, we're going to let them make the first move. And if they don't make a move at all, then I'll just throw a couple cards out, cycle the fireball, and that's how we do it. Alright, so we're going to start cycling. I like to use a level 1 cannon as my bait, because if they have a fireball like that, see, they were going to destroy it, but they obviously got off target. So that is my bait. Let's put the Goblin Cage to distract against the Inferno Tower. And Inferno Tower is going to take out that giant. The Goblin's going to come out and clean up the archers. Again, just reacting to what they do. Now I have arrows out there. So now I can react. I'm going to let that wall breaker go. I'm not worried about that wall breaker. It's going to get destroyed. But I can react on the left tower to that musketeer. And now I can I can start cycling again my defenses. Put the level 1 over there on the musketeer. Still not able to get to my tower because of my defenses. And now we got the knight there. So we'll let him go for now, but we're gonna start cycling these goblins that come out 3 at a time. That'll take out the knight. Now you're probably gonna see them use a fireball on me. That's okay, we got arrows right there. Still. And now we have a fireball ready to go on that left tower. Get some spear goblins in there. Alright, so musketeer's gonna die to a fireball. She just don't know it yet. I'm gonna let the wall breaker go on the right side. There goes the musketeer. Get a couple more hits. And just defending, guys. We are doing an awesome job. Alright, we're into 1 minute elixir time. They're starting to realize, oh man, we can't even get to his tower. And even if I don't destroy that tower, we're going to win in sudden death. So let's start our offensive on the left. Let's get the Inferno Tower on the right to take care of that giant. Arrows for those troops there. And now we're winning. We're just cycling, cycling, cycling. And now we're going to force them to go left because with all the defensive cycles on the left, it's going to force them to start defending or they're going to lose that tower really quick. Put a bomb tower up and fireball on that musketeer. This match is already over. And now arrows and one more shot. Oh, 3! You're kidding me, 3! One more cycle and this match is over, guys. Fireball for the win. And boom! Destroyed right there, guys. That's how you do it with the defensive deck only. Just cycle that fireball, cycle that arrows. It's too easy. So like I said, guys, these are the 3 madness strategies that we've talked about here today, and we've used them to devise 3 different decks that serve totally different purposes, and we're still able to own the battle. That's how you guys do it. Oh man. So remember when I said at the beginning that when I started playing Clash Royale, I had my aha moment and that lightning. Oh good, lightning's not back. Okay, good. The lightning struck. It was actually that moment where I was triggered. And not triggered in a bad way, but triggered in a good way. I was triggered by my experience from Clash of Clans. If you've played Clash of Clans, another Supercell game, you will know that most people in that game will tell you, do not go to the next Town Hall level until you've maxed your defenses, maxed your research, maxed everything at your current Town Hall level. That's what triggered me to have my aha moment, because I'm like, why am I not playing Clash Royale like I played Clash of Clans? Why? So that became the question. Why is nobody doing this in Clash Royale? And if they are, I don't know about them. Are they? Leave a comment below and tell me if you know of anybody else playing Clash Royale this way. I would be very curious to know. But for now, this is my madness strategy 1, 2, and 3. Stay in the same arena. Do more with less. Max your deck. So keep in mind, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you must have all cards at max level 14 before going to the next arena. Because especially when you stay at arenas 1 through 5, that would require incredible patience. So that brings us to our second decision. You must decide at what arena you're going to be ready and you're going to feel powerful with your current deck that you've got built up. What level do I want my cards at before I go to the next arena? I can't answer that. I'm going to try to stick to 14 because that's the absolute max. But in 2023, you're probably going to see them upgrade to max card level 15. So keep that in mind as well. But that's for me. That's for right now. With my attack deck number 1, I'm going to try and stay maximum disciplined and get this job done, get him to level 14. I hope you are ready to win. Are ya? Did you learn something here today? But you may have noticed certain things that maybe not added up, okay? So I'm going to tell you some pros and cons of what happened here today. So a pro is you will win more. That's a good thing, right? If you use this madness strategy, you will win more, okay? So get your levels where they need to be, all right? And do the thing that you need to do to get them where they need to be. And let the wins happen on their own. Once you get your cards up to a decent level, they're going to start winning. And it doesn't matter as much your skill level. What I try to do on skill is the worst thing you can do when you're battling is throwing too many cards out there at once, and then they flank you on the opposite side and you can't counter it. That's probably beginner mistake number 1. Don't go all in unless you know. If you've been paying attention to what cards they use, you'll have an idea of how much elixir they're going to have. So kind of use that as a gauge. Use experience as a gauge on if you can mount a super massive counter attack, or if you just need to throw a couple cards out there to see what they do. Keep that in mind. All right, another pro. Card levels will always be higher than your opponents, except for Clan Wars probably. But when you're just doing these regular battles, your card levels are going to be higher than your opponents. Remember what we talked about at the very beginning? The higher levels had rush decks. Lower levels, overpowered decks. So if you have overpowered decks at the lower levels, that's going to translate as you increase the arenas. If you stay in your arena long enough, get what you need done before going to the next arena. But if you do make a decision, hey, I think I'm ready to go to the next arena, and you go to that next arena and you start seeing cards higher than you, that tells you, oops, I made a mistake. Probably should have stayed in a previous arena a little bit longer. So use that as a guide for knowing when you need to go to the next arena. Another pro, you'll never run out of gold. Like I said, we've been accumulating gold over and over. It's being higher and higher. I have not got to a point where I'm losing gold by doing what I'm doing. I'm gaining gold. Maybe that will change as we get to the really high arenas, but for right now, I'm never running out of gold, guys. But here's some bad things you might experience by going through this strategy. Kind of saw it earlier, but especially if you get the Clash Royale, right? Arena 4, we get a legendary wild card. We don't have legendary cards, so you might be tempted to go to a higher arena, but this is where you have to decide what's more valuable to you. So here's what's going to happen. If you get a legendary wild card at Arena 4 through Clash Royale or through any other means, okay? You're not going to be able to use it, okay? When you get another one, it's going to ask you, hey, would you like gold instead? For these legendary wild cards, I think you get 25,000 gold for trading it in for gold. So keep that in mind. Is that more worth it to you? Or would you rather go from Arena 4 all the way up to Arena 11, where you're going to have probably 80 plus different cards to figure out? Because Arena 11 is the first arena where you get your first legendary card. So which seems more efficient to you? Turning your legendary wild card into gold, or going up 7 arenas just to get your first legendary card? That's your decision. I'm telling you, I wouldn't do it though. Alright, another con is you must intentionally lose battles. I think that was pretty apparent from the get-go. We are intentionally losing battles. It sucks to have to sit there and just hit battle and then just watch yourself lose. If you don't want to watch yourself lose, hit battle, wait for it to get into the match, and close out the game. You'll lose. You'll still lose. And go play another game while you wait, and then come back and repeat. So that's probably the biggest con, I would say, to this madness strategy, is you gotta sit there and do it over and over until you drop enough where you're not gonna go to the next arena. But Arena 4 is a good starting point, because when I was in Arena 3, when I would lose, I would only lose like 15 trophies. But when I got to Arena 4, I would lose like 30. So I think Arena 4 and higher, you're going to lose 30, and it's not so bad doing it that way. So, but that's definitely the biggest con. Also, another con is by gating yourself in these lower arenas, you may not be able to participate in special events or tournaments that should arise, because some of them will be gated for certain arenas. So keep in mind, these challenges and stuff might have cool rewards, but because if you're a low enough arena, you may not be eligible for it. And then the last one is burning magic items. Yes, and that goes back to the wild cards we were talking about. Yes, you can trade in a legendary wild card, but you're losing an opportunity to increase the level of a legendary card. You're burning it, essentially. You're getting gold out of it, but technically you're burning it. You're not using it for its maximum potential. You're just going for, well, I don't have a legendary card, but getting gold's better than nothing. It's kind of the mentality you're doing with the burning magic items. So I'm sure you're going to find more pros and cons, but ultimately the decision is yours to decide if you want to play with Clash Madness, ladies and gentlemen. Clash Madness is what today's video has been all about. So keep that in mind. Let's go over the quick recap. Our strategies are back. Madness Strategy 1, stay in the same arena. Can't stress enough. Do more with less. You have less cards, do more with them. Get them to a higher level. And max your deck. Currently the max is card level 14, soon to be 15 in 2023. But you got to decide where you want to get your card levels before you go to the next arena. Most importantly, this strategy will help you win and provide. For me, from my experience with Clash Royale, I have not lost with this strategy, guys. I have not. Honestly, I have not lost. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. But this definitely puts you in the driver's seat towards winning. So get out there, earn this power, dominate your enemies. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and join our Shack Pack community on Discord. Twitter and Twitch streams every week on twitch.tv/StinkPotStudios. Twitter is Stink Shack Show. So find us out there. I'm Stinkpot. This has been your Shack Show. Get out there with some Clash Madness and control your destiny. See you next time.